Okay, now this is part 2, and I want to explain to you how this was Tropical Storm Marie, who down here was a Category 4 hurricane. I mean, down there it was a Category 4, moved up a little bit, it was Category 2, then suddenly it's not even listed anymore as a tropical storm or anything. And yet it has this strange phonograph flat plate in the middle. And I think that is definitely photoshopped. Let's have a look at it, because it looks like it's a phonograph record with the spindle sticking out the middle here. How unnatural is that? That's just a joke. The whole point, though, here is that if I show you the jetstream map, that this storm was very powerful and was going to bring a drenching rain to Central California. And instead, okay, this is when they were downbursting it. And I figured out now why they downbursted on the west side here. That created an easterly push and held it there long enough for them to downburst it, because it's right at the edge of the Baja HAARP transmitter range. From my experience, they can transmit from Baja to Dallas and no farther. So it's right at the edge of the effective range of this transmitter for heating the ionosphere. And if we step ahead in time, we can see this thing move a bunch. Okay, it has moved that much in 12 hours. So they grabbed it and held it by downbursting on the west side here. That clockwise flow of the high pressure air descending held it long enough for them to downburst it, and they destroyed it on the evening of the 27th, basically. And now the jet stream, you can see the jet stream, it's going to pick this thing up and drag it straight into California. This is what they're trying to prevent. They do not want a powerful tropical storm, low pressure, going into California. And they have succeeded, because if we look at the precipitation forecast map, anyway, let me go back to the start of this. Okay, image 1. We do not see any precipitation here. Just zoom in a little bit. Now, actually, I want you to see the date on this map. Okay, so it's August 29th, Friday, 11 p.m. This already passed. No rain, no rain, no rain, no rain. August 30th, 8 a.m., no rain, no rain, no rain. California's dry as a bone. Here it is, 8 p.m., August 30. All the way to 2 p.m. Sunday, not a drop of rain falls in California. How can that possibly be with this big, powerful, low pressure just absolutely got California in its gun sights? Let me go back and show you how they did it. Okay, this is fake here. One thing is that down here we see fast rotation from the low pressure, and we also see really a lot of pixelation. These are all rectangles, whereas up here these are real clouds, and these are not rotating anymore. They're just going north. Okay, there's a little bit of downward movement here, but this phonograph shape is fake. This is a photoshopped artifact, and the fact that it's got this weird little spindle sticking out of the middle, I mean, that's ridiculous. So let me zoom in and we will just have a look at this pixelation. Now, I believe all this is computer generated, and also it's got, look how quick it's moving. I'll zoom in a little. Okay, that looks awful grainy. Whereas if we look up at the top, we just don't see that grainy effect. In other words, the Photoshop guy is either lazy, or there's some not great software running here. But also, I think this is a psyop to attack my earlier videos, because we can see some dark rings in here. Look at these dark concentric rings. Now, is that a HAARP outflow boundary, or is that them photoshopping this to try to discount my earlier videos? Frankly, I don't know, and I don't care, because if we look at water vapor mode, well, let's step ahead in time and look at this some more. At sunset, it looks like this. And this was August 28th, sunset. And again, we see lots of deep three-dimensional clouds there. And down here, it's flat. There's no highlights. And basically, that's how it looks. And then it goes dark. Let's look ahead for sunrise the next morning. This is August 29, sunrise. And we'll step through. Again, the north, nice highlights. And again, they still maintain this phonograph record thing overnight. In fact, now it even looks weirder. But if you, let me speed it up just a little, we can see these clouds here, they're not rotating counterclockwise, they're just going north. Okay? And the only fast rotation we see is this stuff down here, which I think is the Photoshop part. In fact, right there you can see it's going real fast. We still see these concentric rings, which I don't know, maybe that's a HAARP downburst, but I don't think so. I think they're making fun of the earlier videos. And now let's look at water vapor mode. Okay, here's water vapor mode for the very first, when it was well, evening of the 20, I better check the date, sorry. This is 1 Zulu 28. Whoa, sorry, 1 Zulu 29. So this is the evening of the 28th for us. And it doesn't look like it's really any kind of storm anymore because it's lost its rotation. So, I hope you can see that. Okay, now these clouds here are actually going to the south. If this was everything should be going counterclockwise. And instead, all these clouds are shooting to the south. And there's sort of a jet ski effect where these are kind of spraying out faster than these are moving. But this cloud here is moving to the north. There's a few little clouds here that are trying to maintain the counterclockwise movement. Now let's jump ahead a few hours. And it's even more disorganized. So, what can you say? It's just a blob of clouds now, right? And these guys are just fanning out. I don't see any rotation here. There's still a little bit of rotation. These guys are trying to go counterclockwise. And we might see right here a little flash. This could be some chemtrails to kill the last of this convection right here. Okay, so at this point this storm has been killed, and they can be pretty certain there's not going to be any rain in California. You're going to get lots of clouds, but nope, maybe some virga where the rain dries up before it hits the ground. Okay, and now this is even later. This is August 29th. And I believe that's the last one. No, this is the last one. Okay, here's the last one. And, it's not any kind of storm anymore. It has been blown apart. And I've got to emphasize this was not because of cold water. Because, okay, down here is Category 4. Really strong. Up here, it hit about a Category 2. Then it was in the range of the HAARP transmitter, and it was downgraded to basically tropical storm, 45-mile-an-hour winds. And then it gets up here. They hit it with a downburst on the west side to hold it there long enough, and now it's up here, and there's actually, it's not a storm anymore. Just weird, swirly clouds. So if you're going to tell me that, oh, it hit a pocket of cold water, that's not right. Plus it's moving, so it's got a fresh supply of this water. This green is 75 degrees, plus or minus. This red is 80 degrees. So down here it's category 4. You know, I grant you it will weaken, but for it to just mysteriously blow apart like that, right before the rain bands can hit California, that ain't right. Okay, so one more thing I want to show you is, let's see, how quick it began to move. After they let go of it, it really began shooting off. Let me unzoom this. Well, shoot. I might just use the pressure map of the surface instead. Let's look at this surface pressure map. Okay, this is right after they started the downburst. So supposedly that's the center of it. And then we step ahead 12 hours. Whoops, what happened? I got a duplicate. Okay, I've got a mistake here. Okay, here we go. Whoa, not even on the screen. Apologize for that. Okay, so this is the first video I showed you on the 28th. Like the morning of the 29th, look how much it moved. So that much, it's really starting to accelerate because it got caught in the jet stream. Jet stream being this one here. Okay, again we can see how it moves. It moved here. So this jet stream is going to pull this and drag it straight into Central California. I mean, there's just no doubt. The major rain event was canceled by killing this storm here. Because there's just no doubt that it would have maintained a strong low pressure, brought all that Pacific moisture in, and dumped it in California, in Nevada, and Arizona. And probably wound up in Texas and drenched everything. So they worked pretty hard to destroy this thing, and they succeeded. Also, again, we can see in this map, the goes east map, you can just see how much it moved. Assuming they know where the center is, there it moved. In 12 hours it moved that much. So, you know, when it was here, they could still reach it, in my opinion. When it's there, you know, it's really getting out of range. And that's why we saw on this side of the storm, they've canceled the low pressure rotation, the counterclockwise rotation. But on the far side of the storm, it's still got some counterclockwise rotation. So you guys in California have been screwed again. There's some other maps I could show you, but I just don't see any point. But please watch the first part of the video, and if you didn't, because that shows, it's only one frame because my computer locked up, but it shows a definite HAARP downburst ring, along with some chemtrails on the northeast side. And basically what I think that may have been doing is, if we, I'll just make this a little bigger so you can picture it easier. If you chemtrail on this side, then those chemtrails, now I'm not saying that they're low altitude chemtrails anymore, just normal chemtrails at high altitude, they wrap around to this side, and that kills the convection on this part of the storm. So you have a congestion of air. At the high altitude, there's a block of air here that won't let the core air rise. So what does that do? That's going to help squeeze the whole storm to the right. Again, so they can hold it in place long enough to downburst it, which they did. Okay, folks, you guys in California get another couple weeks of drought as a result of this. And I hate to be right, but every time, but they will never let a low pressure blow into California without destroying it first. So that's the story of these two videos here. And this stuff's happening on a daily basis. So I appreciate you guys watching, and we've got to put our heads together, find a way to arrest these criminals. You know, I got to say a personal note that, to me, when one tree dies in a drought, it's tragedy. But here you've got California, 158,000 square miles, all of it dying. I mean, what's the word for that? What kind of criminals are these people? We've got to stop this. Oh, God. Okay, thanks for watching.